Uh-oh, we got the service truck in the shop today. Welcome back, everybody. David Shepard here on the Humble Hotshot channel, and we are in fact doing some work on the mobile mechanic rig. This is my 2006 Chevy 2500. It is a gas model, 6-liter LS, and you know, I carry a ton of weight in the back of this truck. I've got the big tool drawers, maybe you guys have seen, but mechanics tools are just really heavy. So with that said, I do run some airbags in the back of this, and I usually keep them at about 70 psi. That goes to show you how much weight is really back there to get this stance a little beyond level. But anyway, they've just got the manual inflation valves for those airbags. But thanks to the folks at MaxPeedingRods, today we're going to be installing this air controller kit. So this is like a universal kit that you could install on any existing airbags. I believe I have the Firestone Ride Right kit in here, but like I said, I just went with the base model that you just manually inflate or deflate. So this kit from MaxPeedingRods is going to allow me to add this compressor and plumb it into my existing airbag system, and then be able to adjust the pressure on the fly with this remote, or you could use a smartphone app and do it right from your phone. So I'm going to show you everything this kit comes with to install on your existing airbag kit, and then I'm going to show you the install process on this truck, all right after a word of scripture, of course. So today I want to share Colossians 3:12, which says, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, gentleness, patience, and humility." So this is more of a verse for existing believers and those of us who are Christians, who are supposed to be representing Christ to the world around us, to clothe ourselves with those things, with kindness and compassion and humility and patience and gentleness. And that's a challenge for me. You know, we're never going to do this perfectly. Even though we're Christians, we're not perfect followers of Christ, but that should be the goal, to clothe ourselves with those things, to be patient with others, and really just, we should be the most kind, most compassionate, most patient, and most humble people. While doing all these great and godly things, we do it in humility because we know it's not from us, but it's just God working through us. So it's kind of a challenge for us to go out and live that way to the rest of the world, and I think that's something the church gets wrong a lot of times. A lot of times, unfortunately, we're not the most patient, we're not the most humble, we're not the most kind people out there, but that's our calling. So thanks for listening, guys. Now I'll get right back into the airbag install. Just unboxed all this stuff, again, from MaxPeedingRods. Full disclosure, they did send me this kit to test out, and I have not used any of their stuff. I've seen these guys online before, kind of a variety of automotive stuff, and really pretty affordable, but I have not used any of it before, so this is going to be an honest review. Check out the quality of the parts, install them on the truck, and put it to work, put it to the test, and see how we like it. So so far, just unboxing, it seems like a really complete kit. Again, this is for existing airbags, so you do already need the bags in your truck, or to be installed on your truck. You can see one sitting there. And again, I just have these plumbed out the back with manual valves, so it hasn't been a huge deal. I can adjust them, you know, just like that. And I do carry compressed air in the back of this truck anyway, but this is going to be really cool to be able to do it on the fly, especially because, you know, I work with these tool drawers, working out of the back of this truck all the time. This is basically my office back here, so you know, these tool drawers are really heavy, and sometimes I'll slide one out and then the weight will shift, or if I'm not on perfectly level ground, these drawers can kind of be a pain to slide in and out. So this is going to be cool that I could plumb the bags individually and, you know, raise or lower the side of the truck to some degree by individually inflating or deflating the bags. So really looking forward to that. And like I said, this stuff seems to be quality so far. You know, we'll see how this compressor works. Can't really speak to the quality of that, but just a little mini compressor. It doesn't take much volume to fill those airbags up. They do max out, I believe, at 110 psi, so fair amount of pressure, but really small volume. So this compressor shouldn't be running a whole lot. You know, might click on for a few seconds to fill each bag, but pretty impressed with the completeness of this kit. Like I said, can't really speak to the quality yet, but comes with the tubing, the kind of shark bite style push connect fittings and hardware to mount the compressor. We're going to figure out where to mount this. You could run this U-bolt around the frame or figure out some different options. I think we might try something else for mounting this up out of the way of all the snow and slush. You can see the truck's dripping off now because it's November in Colorado and it's slushy out there. But yeah, it seems really complete. It's got the fuse holders and the relays and wiring and even wire loom. Most kits, I don't know, most light kits and different aftermarket stuff I found never comes with wire loom, and so you're just running unprotected wire unless you buy that separately. So yeah, I don't know, just speaking to completeness, seems really good so far. We even got some batteries for the remote there, and I think I'm going to try it with the remote for now, and just keep this in the truck because that'll be kind of cool. I could raise and lower the pressure from inside the truck, or when I'm back here working, say I pull up to a job and it's not perfectly level, I could do it with this. Personally, I don't like all the smartphone apps. I don't like messing with my phone a whole lot with greasy hands and all that, so probably utilize this for the most part, but I will download the app and try it out to show you guys, and then also if you lose or misplace this or something, I've always got my phone with me and be able to control the airbags from there. So I'm going to finish unpacking this stuff. I'm going to let the truck drip off some more, and then we'll get going on the install. All right, guys, got the old destructions out here, and just thought I'd give you the big overview of how this kit works. Central piece is obviously your compressor control system here, and here's the plumbing. Pretty simple, single airline out. You tee that off to either side bag, and then you just tee into your existing airbag line there, where mine goes to a manual inflation valve. So that's kind of neat. If something ever happened with this compressor or remote or something, you could leave your manual inflation valves in place and still use those to either inflate or deflate. So that's the plumbing side, and then wiring, also pretty simple. Got this harness that plugs in right here, and just run black and red to the battery, inline fuse on your positive side, and then you run the pink wire up to a fuse adapter. So not sure that goes into the controller, so I don't know. I assume we have to wire the compressor itself to power and ground also. But oh yeah, you do. You just run that to a chassis ground. Oh, and then you put this pink to red. I see. Okay, so we'll get that going and get back with you guys. Okay, so as the instructions say, I would probably agree. You should start by finding a place to mount the compressor. A couple things to note here. There's a few different ways to mount the compressor controller assembly. You could do it around the frame with this U-bolt they give you, or you could through bolt it somewhere. It also says you can attach it to the frame with self-tapping screws. I probably would not recommend that last option. In fact, I don't like drilling any additional holes in a frame. So the U-bolt around there, that might work okay. But for me personally, I want this out of the way. You know, this is the compressor and the controller, the electronic controller. So I want this tucked out of the way of the slush and the road grime and all that. So with that said, I want to go inside the frame rail somewhere. So I found a spot on mine. You know, I do not have, this won't work for everybody. I do not have the spare tire under here. I keep that in the back of the truck. So in this case, I've got this big spot where the spare tire was. I'm going to mount the compressor right up on this shelf. Tucks up there. You can see it stays clean here. Sorry about the flashlight glare and all that, but this is a good spot for me. So I'm going to mark out this cross-member deal, drill a couple holes in that, and just through bolt this nicely there. It's nice and high, out of the way of the dirt and grime. And a couple more things to note. Sorry, crawling out of here, but couple things to note as far as mounting this. You can mount it vertically or parallel to the ground the way I had it placed up there, but it says you cannot mount it inverted with the logo facing the ground. So that's one thing. Not sure why. I guess the compressor just wants to be upright. I don't know if there's any oil in that compressor or what, but not with it facing the ground. And then also it does say ideally to put the compressor in front of the rear axle, I think for remote control sake. So if you're inside the truck, it's going to read better being closer to the cab. So the spot I chose is just behind the rear axle, but I'm going to hope, you know, this is a short bed truck. I'm going to hope the remote works from inside the cab, and I also see myself using it a lot at the back of the truck. So that's the spot I found, and we'll get the holes drilled, get the compressor mounted up there, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got the compressor mounted up under the truck. I'll show you how that worked. Bolts are poking through the backside of that spare tire carrier cross member, and that's where ours is going to live. I think it's a good spot up out of the way. You can see how clean the bottom of the truck bed stays here, so I think that'll be out of the way most of the grime. And we went ahead and through bolted it with those hex bolts, and it's plenty secure. And now we just got to wire and plumb to it. Alright, so with the compressor installed up under the truck, that's all secure, good to go. I'm going to go ahead and attack the plumbing next. So you can see here, you've got a single line coming out of what's actually the manifold, the controller manifold on top of the compressor, because that's when you choose your PSI, desired PSI on, or your preset on the remote, it's going to go through the controller, and then it's that output line that's actually going to go to the bags. So anyway, that single output line gets teed off, and then one line goes to each bag. If your bags are already tied together on a single inflation, it would just be one tee, but mine are currently out the back, like I said, because I like to be able to fill them individually. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this line underneath. I've got the one tee on one end already. This first tee will plug into the compressor manifold, and then I'm going to bring these other two tees down to tie into the airbags individually, like I said. And this is pretty cool. The kit even came with this little cutter that works awesome. If you've ever tried to cut this, it's like flexible, but it's kind of brittle hard line, this push connect line. If you've ever tried to cut it with just some side cutters or something, it tends to smush down and distort, and then it doesn't go into these push connect fittings super well. So this little cutter worked great. I just did a little test cut with it. So pretty cool. The kit even comes with that, and I gotta say, just impressed with the completeness overall. Seems like everything you need and then some. You know, we've got leftover hardware since they give you multiple mounting options, and even a nice little cutter. I'm gonna keep that around. Okay, so we've got the plumbing side all finished up here. So this is our outlet line. This black line here coming out of the manifold goes into our first tee here, and then tees off. This is the passenger side airbag, another tee to connect in line with that, and over here to our driver's side airbag as well. So not the neatest plumbing I've done ever, but hey, nobody's gonna see it, and that'll work just fine. Might put a little protection here. It's a little bit of a metal edge, but otherwise everything's suspended nicely. And then you do just have to connect the compressor to the manifold. So that's this loop here. And sounds like it could come with a couple different fittings. This one was just a push connect. So that's it for the plumbing, all dialed in there. And a couple things I will note. Just make life easier. I should have done this on the bench, but anything you can do out on the bench instead of crawling underneath the truck, this line could have been connected, the air filter could have been installed out there, and even the one wire from the compressor that goes right to this harness that's going to plug in here. All that could have been done on the bench and just save myself a little bit of work under the truck, but that's all right. Lesson learned. Give that advice to you guys, and now we just got to wire this thing up. Plumbing's all done, compressor's mounted, and just got to get some power to it. Okay guys, it's much later. It's actually warming up. Blue sky outside, got the shop door open, but anyway, it's much later. Had a customer stop by just to change a low beam bulb, a quick headlight bulb, but 2010 to 2013 Subaru Legacy, worst headlight bulb ever created. Got to pull the front wheel off and the inner fender liner to get to the... Anyway, you guys don't care about that. What you do care about is the compressor install, this airbag controller kit. So we left off with the plumbing completed and actually started making some progress on the wiring here. So just got these two connections that come right off the compressor hooked up. Got ground to a chassis ground here just with a self-tapper, and then the red wire coming off the compressor gets connected to the short pink wire on this harness, and we've got the harness plugged in as well. Oh, all right, there we go. Now you guys can see something. Yeah, so the main harness gets plugged in here, easy peasy there, and yeah, chassis ground, and then the short pink wire off that harness, you can see it just splices in right there. So now we started slipping the split loom on, and we just got to run that up to the front of the truck. I'll finish putting the loom on before I do that, and then I'm just going to run it inside the frame, nicely tucked away, and inside the driver's side of the engine bay where both our battery and fuse box live on this. So I'll get that done and show you how to make the connections up front there. Okay guys, it is much later. Had a couple customers stop by and just getting distracted here, but did tidy up the wiring. We've got, and I will say, not my cleanest wiring job, kind of running out of time here, and is what it is, but we snatched power right here. You know, these Chevys use the side post terminals. They don't really like you tapping in here, so went ahead and snagged power there, snagged ground up there on the firewall, and then ran our fused connection through here to that fuse holder here, tightened up all the wiring underneath, and now we just got to go ahead and test it out. All right guys, here we are, all installed with the MaxPeedingRods air controller kit, just figuring out how to use it. So all the plumbing, all the wiring is done. Now we're gonna hold any button to turn on the remote here, and it should say the last pressure in the bag. So they're sitting at 49 psi. So let's just go ahead and drop it down to say 35. There you go. Hear the bags letting out air. Down to 35, and let's go ahead and pump it back up to, let's just go to 40 for now. Oops. Oh. Sitting at 35, 36. Let's pump them up to 45 just to show you guys. 46. There we go. Okay, you gotta hit the arrow up to your desired pressure and then hit OK. Not hold it, just press OK. It seems like I'm learning here with you, but you can hear the compressor kicked on. Bags are filling up. And there you go. We're at 45. I'll keep an eye on this for a minute, make sure we're not losing pressure. But it looks like they're holding. I checked for leaks under there. And pretty cool. This thing should come in handy for me. Like I said, I'm always working out of the back of this truck, fixing stuff, working on uneven terrain. So it's going to be pretty neat to be able to adjust these airbags on the fly. So if you guys got airbags in the back of your truck and just want to add a little more user-friendly control to it, I would definitely check this out. Again, I'll speak to the quality. I'll definitely be doing more videos using these things on the job. You know, I use this truck every day, so you see plenty more of this, see how this setup holds up. And there's some more functions to explore. It's got 3 presets where you could preset different air pressure levels for those airbags. I haven't messed with that yet. Also haven't messed with the smartphone app that controls this. It's getting late. I'm going to get home, but I will get into that later. So that's it for now. Like I said, I'll keep you posted on the quality of this stuff. It's all working well for now. And I will say, just once again, really impressed with the completeness. I mean, they give you extra fuses. They actually give you the 2 size fuse holders. Our truck uses the smaller fuses where we tapped in. But it seems like just they really tried to cover all the bases. They gave us plenty of wiring, plenty of tubing. I did tap in here for some slightly better electrical connectors that I like to use. But yeah, really impressed with the completeness of this kit. Everything's working great. I can control my airbags with a remote now or with my phone. We'll check that out soon. So thanks for watching. I would definitely recommend this stuff and keep you posted on the longevity of it. The link will be in the description if you want your own MaxPeedingRods airbag controller kit. So big thanks to those guys, and thank you guys for watching. And remember, Christian, believer, or really anybody, let's clothe ourselves. Let's really try to put on kindness and compassion and humility and patience. So thanks for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.